Should you stay in Minnesota or go? My clients ask me this more than almost anything else. Should I stay in Minnesota or go somewhere warmer? Florida, Arizona? Should I move closer to my kids in another state? And I want to be upfront about something. I have a business interest in you staying in Minnesota. So I am going to work extra hard to give you an honest answer that isn't colored by that. Because the truth is, for some people, leaving Minnesota is the right call, and you deserve a real framework for thinking through it, not a sales pitch dressed up like advice. Let's go through it. Here's what often gets underestimated when people fantasize about Florida. Your social network is here. 30 plus years of friendships, community, church, neighbors, and routines. These are not small things. Research on aging consistently shows that social connection is one of the strongest predictors of health and longevity in later life. You can build a new social network in a new place, but it takes years. And not everyone does it successfully. Your medical relationships are here. You have doctors who know your history. You have specialists you've developed trust with. And starting over with a new primary care physician, a new cardiologist, at a stage of life where those relationships really matter is not trivial. Your familiarity is here. You know where things are. You know the neighborhoods, the restaurants, the shortcuts, the seasonal rhythm. There is a cognitive and emotional ease that comes from knowing a place and knowing it deeply. That ease is worth something. This may surprise you. Minnesota winters are often overstated as a reason to leave. Most of my clients who've lived here their whole lives manage winter just fine with the right home setup. A one-level home with an attached garage and no outdoor maintenance to worry about changes the winter experience entirely. Here's what staying costs you, and I want to be equally honest about this. The winters are real. Shoveling, icy driveways, and the mental weight of November through March, for some people, this is genuinely affecting their quality of life. Not everyone is built for Minnesota winters at 70 or older. That matters. If your family has largely moved away, if your kids are now in Austin, Denver, or Phoenix, you may be staying in a place where your deepest personal connections are now geographically distant. And as you age and need more support, that gap becomes more significant. Minnesota's cost of living and tax burden are also meaningful considerations. Property taxes are real. Income taxes on retirement distributions are real. States like Florida and Texas have no state income tax. Over a decade of retirement, that adds up. I've referred clients to agents in both states, and I get feedback. Florida, the draw is real. Warmth, beaches, no state income tax, active retirement communities, a massive infrastructure around senior living. The challenges, humidity and heat in summer, that surprises people. The hurricane risk in many areas, higher home insurance costs than most people expect, and traffic, and a sense that it can feel transient. Lots of people who are there seasonally or short term. The best outcomes I see are people who go to specific communities. Sarasota, Naples, the Villages, parts of the Tampa area that have strong, established senior cultures with real community feel. The worst outcomes are people who buy in a generic suburban area and find themselves isolated. Arizona, lower humidity, dramatic landscape, and significant Minnesota people in the sky Scottsdale and Sun City areas. Also, no state income tax. The summer heat is intense. 110 degrees is real, but it's dry heat, and most communities are built around staying inside during the peak of summer. Similar advice, the community matters enormously. Sun City and Sun City West, in particular, have extraordinary infrastructure for active adults. And this one requires real honesty. Moving closer to your children is a beautiful instinct. And for many people, it's exactly the right decision. When your grandchildren are close, when your family can drop by, when support is nearby, that can be profoundly enriching. But I have also seen it go wrong, and I want to name that. Your kids are busy. They have their own lives, careers, and families. The expectation of daily connection can sometimes collide with the reality of everyone's busy schedules. And if things don't work out the way you imagined, if your child moves again, if the relationship dynamics shift, you're in a city where you have no other roots. The people who navigate this best go in with realistic expectations. They build their own social network independent from their family. They find community in their own right, and the family proximity is a wonderful bonus, not the entire reason to be there. Here is the single best advice I can give anyone seriously considering a move out of Minnesota. Rent first. Before you sell your house, before you commit, spend 3 months, January, February, March, in the city you're considering, not at a resort, in an apartment or a short-term rental. Go to the grocery store, drive the streets, find out where the community gathers, meet some people your age, see how you feel on a random Tuesday. After 3 months, you love it and can't imagine leaving, now you have the information to make the decision. If after 3 months you miss Minnesota more than you expected, you've not burned any bridges. Your house is still there. The cost of a 3-month rental is small relative to the cost of making the wrong permanent decision. Whatever direction you're leaning, staying in Minnesota or going, I'm here to help you think through it honestly. If you're staying, I will help you find the right next home in the right Twin Cities community. If you're going, I have relationships with trusted agents in Florida, Arizona, and other states, and I'm happy to make that referral. A good outcome for you is a good outcome, regardless of where that happens. There's a link in the description to schedule a free conversation. And next week, the difference between a condo, a townhome, a villa, a patio home in a 55+ community. Most people are searching for the wrong thing because they don't know what these terms are. I'm going to lay them all out side by side. See you then.